Hey, what's up? My name is Kate. I'm a counselor and a business owner and a makeup artist. I create beauty content here, other content sometimes too. So I'm just flailing, and if you enjoy that kind of thing, I hope you will subscribe. I didn't have time during the time I was doing my makeup in the morning, or I didn't have the energy, that would be more correct to say, to film applying my makeup. But I did still want to film a little something today and just talk about kind of how I've been feeling in regards to YouTube. Yeah, I've just been a lot busier at my job. This is the busy season for therapy, and so I'm blessed and grateful for that. And I've just been trying to figure out where my limit is. I think there's a temptation because the work is kind of seasonal to accept as many clients as possible, everyone who inquires. Um, but it's not my first rodeo, and so I'm really trying not to burn myself out and be responsible and give my best quality work to each person as well. And so I've definitely been pacing it. Like I got to a point where I was like, oh, I need to close my availability for a little bit of time. I don't know how long, but um, yeah, so my primary job has been taking my attention. I was filming very consistently for quite a while now here in terms of just like getting ready, putting my makeup on, talking about the products, and kind of talking about life. And I enjoyed that. I think I got to a headspace where I was like, is this a pipe dream? Like, what's the point of me doing this? Like, kind of like negative thoughts, like, no one really cares, like, but I also know that it's a process, and if you post regularly, then the algorithm will eventually push your content out to more people. Myself, personality wise, I don't know that I have the personality to be, um, or how successful I'm able to be on YouTube. I like seeing just a diverse representation of people in the beauty space. It's something I've been enjoying watching lately. So I'd like to hope that there's space for like a calm working mom kind of energy that I have, and kind of authentic. Like, I was thinking the other day, like, I'm a person that tends to struggle with things. Like, no matter what's going on, like, I just really get in there and wrestle with whatever it is that's going on for me at any given time. And some might call that a neurotic personality. So I try not to be, but at some level, we can't help who we are. And so, it's winter. I've been feeling a little more of that internal struggle across a variety of topics for myself. And so, yeah, to take care of myself, I think I've fallen back a little bit from filming, even though it's something I enjoy. And even though it has been the subject of that struggle recently of like, what am I doing? Is this kind of a pipe dream? Is this worth putting energy and effort into? Because will it ever materialize into something? Another offshoot of that, and I once had a college professor who wrote on the board in like webs. So she would write a central idea, then there would be an offshoot, and then another bubble, and a central idea there, and then some offshoots from that bubble, and then another bubble, and some of the bubbles connected. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like my thoughts kind of connect in a web in that manner, and that was the best like lecturing experience I ever had. I still remember it to this day. But another offshoot of that, is this a pipe dream idea, is like that I've been feeling a little bit uninspired in terms of making content lately. I think what I'm going to do is set up my tripod and record my collection, and just go through each part of it and kind of talk about my thoughts and what I feel inspired to do or create based on interacting with those objects. And because I have some like kind of ideas for thoughts, like, here, I'll grab it real quick. So this is an organizer that I recently purchased to hold these more bulky and large size lipstick bullets that don't always fit into my main lipstick organizer. And so I'm looking at my full lip collection. It's probably less than 100 pieces, or around 100. I really don't want it to expand any further than that, but I even thought about going through each one of these more high-end or luxury bullets and like swatching it and talking about it because this is like a recently expanded kind of section of my makeup collection, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Honestly, I got these, I did not pay full price for any of these luxury lipstick bullets. They were all sale items, mostly through TJ Maxx, some through the brand website. And I was really excited for them, and I feel almost a little like disappointed in some of the colors and formulas, and that's probably why they were on sale, right? So, just kind of talking about all my feelings about this section of my lip products. And there's one missing because it's already packed up for my upcoming vacation, which I'm so looking forward to and so grateful. Like, I've really been working very hard, like, not just at my main job, at all my businesses, at trying to like formulate a plan for my finances this year. One of my clients just said something today like, life is just so hard. Like, the weight of life is just crushing. Like, and I couldn't help but like resonate with that. I was like, I'm just barely staying afloat. Like, I am just treading water every month, and it's a little terrifying. And then it's like, I do things like this, like buy these things, I'm not in debt, but, it's just a little uncertain. And maybe this is my way of coping with uncertainty or having a little piece of luxury in a life that's otherwise maybe a little, when I got divorced 3 years ago, I really took a big step down in lifestyle from living in a house to living in an apartment, not having a yard, and just the amount of income that I'm able to bring in as a single person, and then all the expenses of a full household and of children, their constant need for, growing out of their clothes and things like that. So I've gotten a little off topic, but for some reason, my makeup collection brings up these ideas of fear and scarcity right now. So that's happening. One positive thing that I think a lot of people go through in January is that I have been trying to really limit my spending and feeling good about that. Like, it's kind of happened naturally, kind of like when you overeat for a while, then you have this natural reaction of like you just feel less appetite, you feel less drawn to overeat, that your body's just kind of like stabilizing. And that's how I feel in terms of spending. After Christmas, after the holidays, the dust has settled, the credit card has been paid, and I make a video about what I spend in any given month. So that holiday spending is something I reviewed and kind of mulled over and overall feel good about. But I also feel good about this phase where more money is coming in, right? It's the busy season at work. I'm able to kind of like catch my breath and feel like I'm catching up, and also decreasing my spending, going out less, cooking at home more, um, and just not really buying a lot of things. I did buy the new CoverGirl bronzer, but in terms of makeup, there's the new makeup that's come out. There are some items that I do feel interested in, but I don't feel like a burning need to like buy everything right now to review it or anything like that, because there's plenty of that content and I'm more interested in my own needs. Makeup has been very utilitarian for me recently. Like, I just did my makeup this morning. I did have a little fun with, experimenting with a base product that I don't use as often. I've been experimenting with like different shades of powders that I've been filling in my brows. I did a little bit of a different lip and blush today. So I'm still, there's still room for fun and experimenting, but it's also like just a utilitarian thing that I do to get myself ready as part of like getting dressed and being presentable on camera when I see clients, virtually during the day. So that has been positive, the low spend, and I'm almost excited to do my what did I spend in January video because of how it's going. And then finally, I've been having a little bit of personal growth in the area of boundaries. Like, I just had this realization of like the ways that I've haven't been holding boundaries or they've been kind of loose or changeable um, in all areas of life at work, with my kids, in relationships. And so I've really been on like a boundaries quest of like really drawing that line of like starting sessions right on time and really saying how I feel about something if it makes me uncomfortable instead of what I found myself doing was kind of like being like, oh, wow, like, okay, kind of like trying to convey that I felt uncomfortable without really saying it, without being clear, because it's uncomfortable to do. And I did, and the world didn't end, and everything's okay. I read a quote that said, boundaries are the way you teach others to love you well. And I think that's such a positive and beautiful way to think about it. This idea that people want to respect my boundaries and they don't purposely want or mean to take advantage of me, but I actually allow myself to be put in those situations by not being clear and not really saying what I really want. So there's that. For whatever that's worth in the context of a kind of makeup life focused video. I think that's everything that I have to talk about. I hope that you're doing well and thank you for spending this time with me.